And so now lawmakers say they are going to go directly to the Inspector General. Tennessee Republican Representative Tim Burchett led the group behind that letter demanding information. Representative Burchett joins us now. Representative, I read the letter to the Inspector General. It was a good letter. The thing I was wondering, though, Congressman, is what if they just blow you off? Like, what if they get the letter and do they have to respond? Do they have to answer any of? I think you had 3 really serious questions in there. Do they have to even answer them?
Yeah, they do technically, but of course they won't. This cover-up will continue, and I predict they're not going to let us have a select committee. They're going to go down the list and just shut this thing down. One, we got way too much publicity. We called way too much attention to the war pimps at the Pentagon. And other things, we know how much money they're wasting on these wild programs, and they won't even release this information. They want more money to study it, yet they say they don't exist. Yet we have footage, Pentagon footage, or Defense Department footage. So it just goes down the list, and it's just a complete cover-up, top to bottom, this thing. And they're just trying to run the clock out. You look at the Tic Tac videos, not TikTok, but Tic Tac like the candy right there they denied they even existed, and then they were leaked. And then they came forward and said, in fact, they do exist. So it just continues. It's very frustrating, but they do it because they're allowed to do it, and because both sides of the aisle are compromised on this issue for whatever reason.
You don't sound as optimistic, Congressman. I think last time I spoke to you was just a couple days after the hearings, and you were sort of like on fire. I was getting this feeling like we were really going to get info. Tonight, you sound a little more like they're just shutting you down every way, and we might not find out anything.
We're going to keep digging, and I'm going to find something out. Look what happened to poor David Grush. They discredited him. They attack a man that has PTSD. For goodness sakes, this is the United States of America. We ought to honor our veterans. Well, at least we do in Tennessee. We might not in Washington, D.C. And shame on both parties for allowing this, because this will provide a chilling effect to future whistleblowers. They will see this. They will see that we won't have a select committee. We won't be able to call this stuff in. We won't be able to provide them any protection. Whistleblowers will just be another name in the history books because we're gutless, and that's both parties.
That's a shame to hear. Representative Luna said last week that you were trying to reinstitute Grush's security clearance so that you could get him in a confidential area where you could get more answers, because he's not allowed to talk openly about some of this stuff at the hearings. Any progress on that? Do you think that may happen soon?
No, and that's why my friend Matt Gaetz suggested and actually requested the select committee from the speaker and the chairman of the committee. So it's really in their court right now. If the UFO community wants to request their congressman to get on board with this, I think it would be a good thing. I think if they got a few emails showing the seriousness of this nature, because like I said in the hearing, we're not bringing out little green man. We're not bringing out a flying saucer. We just want transparency, man. This is ridiculous. It's it's an agency that never has passed an audit. At one time, Department of Defense, we're told 60% of their assets are unaccounted for. If you and I had that, brother, we'd be in jail. We would be in jail if it was our business or any other entity, but it's the Pentagon, and they're allowed to do it.
Right, and our elected leaders like you don't even know where the money's going, which is kind of unbelievable. I want to ask you about this. I'm so interested in this. Congress still has to vote on the National Defense Appropriations Act. Senator Schumer put that portion in there that requires disclosure when it comes to UFOs, which was a big deal if that requirement makes it in. But I heard you, I think it was last week, saying that you don't think it's going to make it in, that you think it's going to get cut out. What's that all about? You really think that's going to happen?
What I think I really meant to say was, if it gets it in, it's not going to do anything. What it is, it provides, if you dig into it, it provides a clearinghouse. So we're going to have the Pentagon, again, unelected bureaucrats who've never fired a shot in anger, sitting behind a desk somewhere, deciding what photos, what information comes out on an issue they said does not exist. And they have video footage of it from their own members showing that it does. We have testimony of these pilots chasing these UFOs. Yet, it's just a complete circle. They say they don't exist, but send us money. And I'm sure Senator Schumer and good due diligence, but he's a tax and spend liberal. He's going to put millions in there for the Pentagon to release this stuff. Look, all I want is transparency. Release the files. Let me handle it. I think I can handle it. They still won't release the Kennedy assassination files 60 years ago. Nobody's even alive.
It's like just tell the American people what's going on and let them decide for themselves what to think, whether you believe in UFOs or not. Maybe it's some other kind of technology. But I'm interested to see if that gets pulled out of the National Defense Appropriations Act. I think that'll be really telling if for some reason they pulled that line out. But we'll stay on it, Congressman. I know you are too, behind the scenes, and we'll get back with you soon. Thanks for coming on.
It wouldn't be out there if it wasn't for y'all. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir. We'll stay on it. That's why we have you on. You gotta keep the pressure on. So.